Welcome, welcome, welcome. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Welcome to Priscilla Bell Productions of The Good Daughter and the Do-Gooder. Written, performed, and produced by Kaypri. And if everybody will please cut off your cell phones, we will start the show. And can you please cut them off? We had somebody vibrating all night last night, and it was kind of like in the background.
I did airplane mode, which does that.
Perfect.
That cuts it off.
That's fine. Thank you.
And then I silenced it.
I'm sorry?
And then I turned it off.
And then you
a little button.
Okay, all right, cool. So without further ado, we bring you The Good Daughter and the Do-Gooder.
Why, hello, everybody. Welcome to PK's Anonymous. I am your host, the Good Daughter, aka Kaypri, and ironically enough, my father was a well-known preacher. My mother was a missionary too, of sorts, only not in church circles, and her life embodied, oh, I'm sorry, I hate talking about her in the past tense when she's still here. Anyway, her life embodies being the change you want to see in the world. So today we're going to celebrate a 2-in-1 history lesson, women's history and civil rights history. Summer 1953, my junior year of college, was a major turning point in my life. As a camp counselor, I lived in an interracial community long enough to forget it was interracial. I felt I had been liberated from the shackles of my culture and wanted to share my newfound freedom with the white people of my beloved Southland who did not know they had shackles. Repeat after me. Dorothy Hampton Marcus.
Dorothy
Hampton Marcus. Thank you so much for showing up today. I mean, many people don't know what us PKs go through. First, I have a question to ask you before we go any further. It's really been kind of, okay, here goes. Do you like my outfit? Guess where I got it? Any guesses?
Goodwill.
Who said thrift store? Oh, you got me. I bet you didn't know I'm mixed. Yes, I've been part senior citizen all my life. I mean it. I make prints over 65 in Goodwills every time I visit to update my bohemian wardrobe. It's all Dorothy's fault. I mean, I just feel uncomfortable in department stores. Really uncomfortable. And the seniors, they just like gravitate towards me. It's like I have a sensor or something. I don't have to say one word. But it works so well because they often share their senior discount with me. And it's not 7 days a week anymore. Okay, I have a confession. I have depression. And now it's not that bad. Really, it's not. It's the reason that my fellow seniors clamor for deals at the 99-cent store. They just don't know better. It's the guilt with buying Clutch the Pearls name brands. We know store brands are just as good. They are, just the price and the proof is there. I have another confession. I wash aluminum foil in dry dish strainer. Zip-up bags too. I know it's bad, don't hurt you or your pocket. Ladies and gentlemen, depression era mentality is real. You never know you're gonna run out of something, so keep a little extra, just in case. Okay, raise your hand if you have depression era mentality. See, I'm not the only one. But chances are I'm one of the few under 50. I get it from Dorothy. She's the old lady that babysits repeat after me. Dorothy Hampton Marcus.
Dorothy Hampton Marcus.
I had no idea I had been such a significant part of history. Camp Robert Hollow was the first interracial day camp in America. When I got off the train back home, I saw the white and colored signs as if it was the first time. Dorothy Hampton Marcus is an unknown civil rights Sheroe, but I just call her Mom. So you're probably wondering what brought me here before you PKs. Well, it was around 2009, and I was helping my mom move back to North Carolina home state after a 50-plus year absence. Now, Mom had bad experiences with male medical doctors in Jersey, and with her move, she lost Medius, a British medical doctor, who studied Chinese medicine in China. So I went online and found her a female doctor of osteopathy who studied with Dr. Andrew Whale. Now you may not know his name, but you probably will recognize his photo, and you can't forget that Santa Claus beard. Dr. D was warm, with long hair down her back, probably a former hippie who never got over it. And Mrs. Marcus, what did you do before retirement? I was a do-gooder. I worked in civil rights beginning in the late 50s. Unlike my friends, I did not get my MRS degree after college. When I was 7 years old, my big sister Evelyn, she's 17 years older than me, she told me I was going to Meredith College, Raleigh, just like her. And Evelyn was the first in our family to go to college and to leave the state, and she said she wanted to be a missionary, so naturally, since she practically raised me, I did too. And it was at Meredith that was the first time that I met Black people that I knew their last names, unlike the women that worked in my house growing up. And together, our two schools, our Baptist student unions got together and had dialogues, what you would know today as an interracial dialogue. And, I wanted to be a missionary to save souls, but what I ended up doing was helping people to change the way that they looked at things and to challenge the culture they'd always known and to undo the lies that they had been taught and to understand their white privilege, which didn't have a name back then. There was a lot of strong resistance, particularly in the South, particularly in my family. I see. That sounds fascinating. Did your family have problems with their interracial marriage? Well, from the very beginning, I didn't date too much. There was only one man who really understood me and my work. Chester, my first job in 57 in race relations. We had to date in secret. My big sister Evelyn, she told me I probably would not marry a white man. She was right. By the time we did marry in 72, I found out my brothers had less of a problem with the 17-year age difference. They just didn't like the fact he was Black. And so I've been writing a book about all of this. So I never really got to know my uncles or my cousins very well. My mom's big sisters were probably not crazy about the marriage, but they're crazy about their big baby sister Pete. That's my mom's family nickname. Now, a white woman's life is supposed to be pretty easy, but she chose the hard work, changing minds and hearts, and some were not ready, and some still aren't. But I do know that she was indeed a do-gooder in the world, a good mother too. Today, I make medical appointments, I fill out her forms, I answer her questions, I arrange the medical transportation, I am the good daughter. Well, I'm only at $1 every time I write those two words together. Now, you're probably wondering what brought me here before you PKs. Well, it was around the time of, anybody remember Friendster and MySpace? Well before Instagram and Twitter. It was around then. And I was doing research on my autobiographical solo play, Baby Girl. Mom, did Daddy drink? Well, like many black men of his generation, he had a heavy load to carry, and at times it was too heavy. He went to bed with a bottle of wine every night, except the nights before he had to preach. What? You're just now telling me this now in my mid-30s? Why are you being so nonchalant? Wait. You mean to tell me that I grew up with an alcoholic and nobody told me? What the hell? That was my inner monologue. I was too shocked to speak. My silent mom had never said a thing. Neither did I. Okay, so my dad's an alcoholic. What does that mean to me? I read every book I could find. Many families with alcoholism have codependent relationships. Codependence? What the hell is that? Okay. Addicted to the feeling of being needed, often forgetting themselves. I know who that is. Her. Her constant questions that never let up. Her whole life that revolved around me. She was retired. It's supposed to be all about her. Instead, she's suffocating me. Why did I move to Brooklyn? Because Harlem is just across the river from her. Too close. Takes her half an hour to drive out here to Bed-Stuy, my home away from her. I lived at the end of a cute dead-end block with a deliciously cute name, Alice Court. A steep staircase led me to my very own private room. I called it my penthouse. I loved how I could step out on my private rooftop and look down at the tree-lined Brooklyn streets and catch a nice, warm summer breeze. You thought I was moving to New Jersey? To live with you? Mom, I lived on my own in Los Angeles, 3,000 miles away from her, for 3 years. What happened to your trust in me? I don't know what her problem is. There's no way I'm going to live back in Jersey, back under her roof. What was her problem? I mean, we could still go to our place on and off Broadway, eat at our favorite restaurants, go take the nephews to IHOP and restaurants and independent films and independent bookstores. Living, renting a room, it was nice, but it had its price. I mean, I didn't love sharing a kitchen and a bathroom. I convinced myself it was no big deal. And then I was reminded how I was raised and other people were. Clean up after yourself. That fall, I ended up moving back to Jersey. No Craigslist, and I didn't have a choice. I started subbing to save on bus and subway costs, plotting my escape from her house daily. Mom, I am 26 years old. Will you let me live my life? Gosh, you're so codependent. What does that mean? It means you bother me and never let me be, you don't live your life, and you're obsessed with mine. She went to the library the very next day. I went to the library and I got some books on codependence so I could understand more what you were talking about. Phenomenal woman, that is my mom. Did I mention her educational psychology master's degree? She read all 4 books from cover to cover. Kaypri, I want us to sit down with Frances. You know her husband is an alcoholic who got help and recovered? He is. Yes, and after the children graduated from college, she went to school so she could help other addicts recover. So we sat down with Frances, a petite brunette with short hair. Well, Dorothy and Kaypri, listen to both deducements is quite a bit of codependence in this relationship. Yes, most of which probably originated when Chester died. Good old Dad. See, I told you. Then there was Alice. Dorothy, it's so interesting that when I look back into my files from when Kaypri was a child, you and your husband were having these same kind of issues with your stepson when he was a young adult. Codependence was nothing new to my mom, and now she passes it on to me, along with bad eyesight and bad feet. Thanks, Mom. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm grateful that she wanted to tackle this monster called codependence and was determined to stamp out the problem. I fell in love with subbing middle school. And Mom, where is the... Mom, stay in your recliner. I'll be right. Just stay in your recliner. Tell me where it is. I'll get it. Okay. Okay, Mom, I'm going to city now. Talk to you later. Mom, no, you do not have to walk me to the bus stop. I'm 26 years old. Mom, what did Alice say about breaking the pattern? Okay, bye. Mom, okay, yeah, I love you. Yeah, okay. Don't wait up. And when I got back, there she was in her round recliner, her fluffy hot pink robe, newspaper in her lap, asleep, waiting up. Eventually, she gave up being mother, father, and God to me, and finally learned to let me be. I moved into a Jersey condo angry, but I moved back to my beloved Brooklyn without resentment. I enjoyed our phone calls, restaurants, movies, independent films, plays, etc., relieved that the tension was gone. Hi, Mom. Yeah, he just left. He upgraded my computer. Yeah, the kid I met at the library. I don't know. I'll ask him. Hi, Will. My mom wants to know if you come look at her computer, but she lives in New Jersey. Yeah, I'm sure she'll cover your travel costs. So Will and I travel from the bus to subway to Jersey. I really hope this works out because I am no good at computers and she's always calling and bugging me about something. It's so green. The Jersey suburbs were nothing to me, but this was Will's first time out of Brooklyn. The Jersey suburbs were another world for him, and he kept coming back, computer issues or not. He and my mom were quite a sight. A 5'7" white female senior citizen and a 6'4" black teenager calling her Dorothy Mom. When he turned 21, we threw him a party after his foster parents kicked him out for no longer being a paycheck. But the do-gooder, she just won her cake once again. She drove her bright yellow Volkswagen Beetle to Brooklyn to help him find his first place to live. Why does he need to learn how to drive? He lives in New York. You never know where he'll end up. The do-gooder was right. Guess where Will is right now? New Jersey. He drives to work. He drives to Brooklyn to pick up his daughter. And when he comes to LA to visit his Dorothy Mom, he drives all over the place. He's a good driver too, because he learned from the best. Water aerobics, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Acupuncture Tuesdays. Racially diverse community course that she co-founded, Sunday evenings. Good morning. When I sleep over at her house, I wake up to her cooking egg white omelets made with fresh vegetables bought from the Asian market. She's up at 8 a.m. drinking her honey, lemon, and cayenne pepper drink that Marius recommended. She's in her mid-60s, proud of her prescription-free routine. She founds a writing support group at her church in New York City to keep her working on her book. She knocks down chapter upon chapters, shooting emails to me, slices of her life story, decades in the making. I edit them and ask questions. She is my first editing client. I watch her become a better writer. I watch her gain confidence. She even attends writing conferences, even a writing cruise on the Panama Canal. I laugh at her silly short stories like Lost in Costco and Tales of a 65-year-old adolescent. Oh, life goes on. she doesn't grow old. She grows young. So eventually, I returned to LA after a 7+ year absence, but I've been there before. It's gonna be fine. Well, you know, couch hopping on Craigslist was cool until I discovered that my sweet European LSCC student roommate out the door and the revolving and the visitors is a serious nymphomaniac. Oh my God. Y'all don't even know. It was like 2 or 3 days. Crazy. So I'm couch hopping. I'm temping at a terrible job with shady people. I'm riding another bus. I'm on and off EBT card, aka welfare. I'm freelance film work. I'm living on the floor of a guest house, a floor, like not furnished, like a floor of a guest house for 15 days. But you know, I know the ropes, all right? Yeah, because it's hard out here for us now. Yeah, the struggle's real. Yeah, my mom has no idea. But that period's finally passes, and so I get a $500 Ford Mustang GT convertible that I nicknamed Ozzy after Ozzy Davis. I get a studio apartment that's really the living room of a house. I get a steady job working in film locations with my best friend, and things are looking up, and I know I'm starting from the bottom, but here is all of that. I got this. Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Woo! I'm taking my freedom. It's calming. That's my day up. Oh, her. Hi, Miranda. My mom's know-it-all niece. No, I didn't get the email. Hold on. Sent 2:37 a.m. Email subject, I'm in a bad way. Dear Miranda, tears, depression, realization of wanting to die, hate to bother, need help. Where do I go from here? Another doctor wrote her up? Amanda is my mom's niece who lives in healthcare out of state. She's not quite a warm and fuzzy type. Hi, yeah, I saw the email. Yeah, oh, you made an appointment? What? Why did you make? Okay. Next week? Okay. NYU, I got it. But are you sure that, a psychological evaluation? I mean, is that really necessary? Okay. Do you need me to pick you? Okay. I know. You don't have to. I know she's my mother. It was the first time in my life I dreaded coming to New York. Dementia? Early stages, but dementia nonetheless. Dee Dee really gets on my nerves. She's like a thief without a conscience, always coming and going without notice, but I will not let her. I will let you win! So, didn't you grow up with like older parents? Anybody? Older parents? So you know what it's like then. You grow up and it's like, comes with the territory. You grow up believing that they're going to die before your friends' parents. My dad didn't graduate, my dad didn't even live long enough to see me graduate high school. And then when you have this other parent and they start losing it, you start feeling like parentless. I really need to get something off my chest. This is a safe space? Okay, here goes. Ooh. Okay, well, see, I'm mad at her. No, I'm mad at her. At that woman. No, that woman. That woman without a voice. Without a voice. Without a voice. It's the extension of the denial, the hurt she never faced. My name is Kaypri, and I'm the daughter of a coward. I know it's not cerebral, but it's the hard, honest truth. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about that great do-gooder work she did. I'm not talking about how she was at the first meeting of SNCC accidentally in 1960, and Martin Luther King was just right over there smoking a cigarette. Not talking about that. I'm not talking about the fact that she was recruiting Southerners and driving them across the country to Fisk for the Race Relations Institute. That 2-week thing when she was dating my dad all in secret and they were holding hands behind tablecloths. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about her being outside of Detroit at the same time as the riots. I'm not talking about any of that.
Chester, can we please go out to eat?
Now you know I always go out to eat on the road, and I don't want to go anywhere. And what's wrong with eating here?
Because while you are out on the road eating at fine restaurants, I am here raising our child. Because I don't think you appreciate what I do when you're not here. I will just take myself out to eat.
That is what she didn't say. This revolutionary civil rights worker and feminist never went out to eat once during her whole entire marriage, or even to a movie. But I had no idea. I mean, she kept everything so quiet. I had no idea of this do-gooder past till I saw it in words. As the head of the Michigan Civil Rights Commission, I believe that it is my primary responsibility is towards those who believe their civil rights have been violated, and I cannot stay in this room as long as those people on the other side of that door fit that description. As a black man, he worked very hard, and when he came home, he wanted a break from the racism, and he didn't feel like going anywhere. And I know now I should have stood up for my happiness. But I'm not like her. I know you don't want to talk about this, but we have to. I'm getting older, and with the way dementia runs the family, I want you to know that I've made some decisions. Kaypri, I got an advance directive. An advance directive is a document that one signs that dictates the care one wants or doesn't want if they can't speak on their own behalf. It's also known as a living will. It basically means I don't want machines to keep me alive if I can't speak for myself. Okay. And Catherine also told me to get long-term care insurance. It's an account that one pays into monthly that's supposed to take care of their care if they can't do daily activities such as eating, dressing, showering. Okay. This is important, Kaypri. I don't want to be a burden to you. I don't want you to spend your life taking care of me. Translation. I'm sorry the civil rights movement took so long that things could get better so I could marry your black dad and give birth to you and leave you with an aging mom. So to make things up to you, I'm going to lighten your load. Now, I am grateful she did what she did, but even so, I resent her for teaching me to be silent. Don't make waves. It's how her marriage was. Her teaching me to be silent made me an easy target in my adolescence. It had nothing to do with that lady in that Michigan Civil Rights Commission. Nothing to do with that. I
I never saw her. Kaypri, you need to learn how to dress and do your hair. Baby girl, you stupid. Mom, kick them out. They owe you money. Shh. It's not that simple. Mom, they're taking advantage of you. Faye needs some time to get things together. She has a young son. Faye is a grown woman. That boy's 10 years old. I can't believe you gave him your bedroom. There are 2 of them. I don't need that much space. But it's your house. That boy needs to live somewhere else, far away from here. Faye eventually did move out, a few years later, without notice. My mother was so upset that after all she did for her, she did do the small claims case, and she won, but the damage was already done. Kaypri, kick them out. You're too nice all the time. I am. Still learning. But I am proud to report that today I'm blissfully roommate-free.
Okay.
But my mom is still losing her mind. Grandparents? What grandparents? Dad's mom saw me in a photograph, died a few months later. Mom's mom sat there in a wheelchair, gray-headed with glasses, staring into space, expressionless. Grandma? As an adult, I looked through the photo album. I saw her sitting on our plaid green sofa. She wears a black dress, gray hair pulled back, smiling down at me, adoring eyes of a woman I would never come to know. Beyond her funeral 5 years later, I learned all about her through the book my mother would write many decades later.
Long, beautiful blonde hair.
Is all I remember about her funeral.
Long, blonde, beautiful hair, smiling eyes and rosy cheeks. Pamela, my teenage cousin.
As an adult, Pamela told me that as soon as I saw her that day, I held onto her finger and wouldn't let go the entire day. I only remember her long, beautiful blonde hair. I wouldn't get to know her until adulthood because her parents didn't like the fact that my mom got a black husband.
I didn't know why Grandma died, and I didn't ask. I probably thought she died of senile because they hadn't invented Alzheimer's yet, and senile sounded like a bad disease and like it could kill somebody.
I never knew. Claudia, a pioneering woman in the 1930s working outside the house when her quiet and unassuming husband could work no more after he was shot by a Negro whose identity he refused to reveal. He was scared, thought I had a gun. My grandfather was a good man who did a rare thing. Claudia was the best seamstress in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, a favorite of the rich Salem college girls. And Claudia went to that hospital every day, and every day they told her the end was near and that her husband would die. But Claudia, with her soft, round, rose-colored face, refused their claims month after month, determined her husband would survive. And he did. Probably didn't have a choice. But Hampton Groceries, beloved store that allowed him to provide for his family, did not. Probably because he extended too much credit during the Great Depression. See, my grandfather was a do-gooder too. When my mom first started writing her book, the first chapter was entitled Southern Hospitality. This is a story about my grandmother. It's not that they are inferior, Mama said, God rest her soul. They just have a different nature. She decided she was going to get married, the Negro woman who worked in our home, to sit down and eat with us. She'd been practically invisible, just there to serve our family. Now my mother was asking her to break bread with us. Watching this unfold were the beginning of questions in my mind that I continued asking well after that day.
My grandmother Claudia was a strong soul. So is her youngest daughter, Dorothy. Dorothy, aka Pete, loved when Claudia made her fudge C-A-N-D-Y. Sometimes, when her mother happened to be at home, when Pete wasn't left at home with the help without a last name, or one of her much older siblings, those big people way up there, those big people born at the right time, because nobody wanted a baby in 1932, the heart of the Great Depression, when nobody could afford anything and people jumped off buildings when they could afford things, and everybody had to save during the Great Big D. Nobody wanted a baby. And nobody liked growing up believing she was a mistake. And nobody I know likes having a family member with dementia/Alzheimer's who steals part of your loved one and doesn't give them back. I really want to go to Africa, Chester.
No, the baby will get sick.
Recently, I came across letters he wrote her, all about his adventures in the motherland. I am telling everybody about my wife and beautiful baby girl. I will bring you here one day. The food is wonderful. The people are so nice. The hotel is... Don't you miss me? Don't you care? You always say to bring me, but you never do. I want to go. I'm stuck in this house where you're out traveling the world. I gave up my work to marry you. You don't even appreciate my sacrifice, do you? Do you? The letters my mother wrote back to him. In her head. And now she's silenced by dementia. As I read his handwritten broken promises, I thought about how much they must have hurt her. And I grew angry at him for his lies. At her for her silence. I don't know, maybe it was the time she grew up in. I don't know. All I know is that her silence then, it makes me angry now. Oh, it started small, you know. Betty is going to pick me up. Mom, don't you mean Barbara? That's what I said. For my first big clue, wait, Mom, you mailed it to me when? Wait, last year? What are you talking about? I met this really cool girl. We both love thrift stores and Indian food, and she's related to a friend of mine, and she became like a sister to me. And she even let me in on an amazing money-making opportunity. Only she neglected to let me know a few things. You know, are there any kids here? Church folk, you guys? Okay, good. The bitch stole my identity. Fraudette. Oh, she ran up my credit cards. She put out-of-state property in my name, and then this girl, she smiled up in my face every single day. And every time I thought I discovered everything she did, there was more. Wait, Mom, you mailed it to me when? Okay, you mailed it with a package. I got it. Okay. Wait, package. Okay. Oh, I think another package. Okay. Wait, what check? One of Claudette's favorite pastimes was intercepting my mail at our shared mailbox. Just when I thought I discovered everything, a second police report in New Jersey. And 6 months later, I proved that was not my signature on that check my mother mentioned. But that victory did not save my plumbing credit or my mother's declining mind. You see, my mother had always watched her money like a hawk, always paid her bills on time, but she never said anything about that package or that check. I was so mad at Dee. You were there the entire time. Why did you tell anyone about the package? You were right there. Do not walk away from me when I'm talking to you. Wait, what are you talking about? What? Move from New Jersey? She's fine here. Mom, aren't you fine here? I want to be closer to my family. Oh, I didn't realize. Yeah, I'll go with you to visit independent living places. Independent living is a community where seniors can live largely unsupervised. It includes meals and daily activities. And my mom didn't have much of a social life outside of those regular activities we've already talked about. Most of our tour guides thought we were answering our questions. How would you describe the diversity of the residents? Well, we have a lot of blue collar and others. Lots of people from European backgrounds. See, that's how white privilege works. We don't have to think about it without a thought at all. Diversity is not automatically racial when you are the majority. Oh, but there's a black person. We both knew that black people didn't typically put their people away. They kept them at home. And I've learned that many people don't know about long-term care insurance either. And that you can get it, the younger you are, the cheaper it is. How many of you knew that you could get it at age 35? Anyone know that? One person. See? That's my point. Oh! The Blue Ridge Mountains won my mama's heart. I used to come here when I was little. You did? Massive, scenic, blue-green mountains. Kaypri, isn't it just beautiful? They say as people age, they revert to being like a child. Kaypri, just look at the clouds. Massive, puffy white masses simply took over the big blue sky. Looky! Looky! Mom, I'm ready to go now. Okie madokie. Okie madokie? Mm-hmm. So my mom moved her whole entire life down south, leaving my New Jersey hometown behind. And from that point on, I no longer had a home to go back to. Dee should have minded her business. Mom never even saw a place in New York that was racially diverse. But once again, Dee had her way and I had no say. And I guess it's cool. You know, this new place, Happy Hills Village. Our tour guide, Joanne, she's really dedicated to diversifying the residents. And when my mom heard that, she got all excited about helping her, and they're on the same page. And Joanne's cool, you know, she's like 50-something, salt and pepper hair, has a slight curl. She walks and talks quickly, obviously not a native South, that's probably why she and my mom just clicked. I guess Joanne's the reason she belongs. And even though I wanted my mom to stay near New York, I'm happy if she's happy. Movie trucks arrived. I've flown in from Cali to help her settle in. I've been putting clothes in closets and drawers and books in bookcases. Mom's in the kitchen putting stuff away. She still has too much stuff. We're waiting to hear from Joanne because my mom has called and asked her to dinner. Mom, did you find the... Mom, okay. Do you want me to call Joanne again? Okay. Oh, maybe this is her now. Hi. Oh, hi, we were hoping you would call. Oh, yeah.
mom's selling it just fine. But we're really trying to reach Joanne. Wait, what are you talking? No. Joanne. What? Shit. Mom? Mom? Was that Joanne? No, Mom. Joanne doesn't work here anymore. What? But I just spoke to her a few days ago. My mother's crushed. Joanne is gone and no one's giving a reason why. Now I had the feeling then, but I pushed it away. Because I had to get back to LA and my mom is a big girl, right? My grandmother's youngest child is in the early stages of senile. And my biggest fear is that one day I'll look into her eyes and she might not know who I am. Senile. Sounds like a vast river in exotic country. Right now I'm in a sea of confusion. When I go to call her on the phone, I actually hesitate because I don't know who's going to answer. I don't know if it's going to be this good mood mom or that other lady. I mean, she's taking Intercept, which is supposed to slow the memory loss. I don't know if it's helping or not. But she is starting to do the yoga because I pushed her to do that. But that should help too, huh? Help her relax her overactive and anxious mind. Dee Dee thought she was slick. Oh my God. She worked herself into my mother's life and moved down to North Carolina. Look, Dee Dee, she may not mind you being around, but I do. Now, I'm cordial to you for her sake, but just know I will never accept you, ever. She wasn't always around, and I tried to ignore her when I visited. Mom didn't seem to mind, and I guess she needed company. BC. I mean, I can't visit her much in my 5 to 6 day work schedule, but I make daily calls, and she's making friends. She told me about a retired pastor and his wife, how they invite her places. Man, my mother has always loved church folk, even though she's never been particularly religious. She keeps trying to get her driver's license. No one thinks it's a good idea but her, but she can't pass the written. But she keeps trying, because if nothing else, my mama's a fighter. Whew. Yeah, and she sold her yellow bug before she left Jersey. Still waiting on the buyer to finish paying her. That's the do-gooder. Always trying to overhelp somebody. Okay, Mom, I'm all packed up. My flight's on time. Hey, Mom, what's wrong? Mom. I'm okay. Mom, you're holding your chest like you can't breathe or something. I'm okay. Hello. Reverend Dewey. This is Kaypri. My mom is like holding her chest like she can't breathe, and I don't know what to. Okay, thanks. Mom, get dressed. We're going to the hospital. Mom, get dressed. We're going to the hospital. Yes, I'm Dorothy's daughter. Blood clots in her lungs. 7. Oh wow. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't wait either. You do know that she has a bit of dementia? Okay. Y'all come back in the morning. It's a good thing you didn't wait, because you had, we might have lost her. She might have had pulmonary embolism. You are a very good daughter. I missed my flight. It was official. I was now a parent. Hi, Terry, thank you so much for meeting with me. I just want to make sure someone keep tabs on my mom, like they did at NYU, like her mental state. I have paperwork right here. How old is your mother? She's 78, works in, lives in Happy Hills Village, independently. And does she drive?
she wants to, but it's not a good idea. I understand. You are such a good daughter. Is there anything else you need? Oh my God, yes. She needs help with organizing her mail, getting her pills together, and she needs to go on errands, and she really needs to get back to water aerobics. She's starting her 60s, and then they closed the pool for construction. She don't go to alternate locations, and she's been out of practice for like 6 months. Thank you. Hello, Deborah. This is Kaypri. I'm Dorothy's daughter calling from Los Angeles. I know you're going to meet her tomorrow, and I just want to kind of give you a heads up of what to expect. She's a real sweet woman, but she really hates that she's losing her independence. These are the chains from a time of slavery. It is said that by just walking into one of the slave castles along the west coast of Africa, just walking inside is enough to make a grown man cry. Watching my mom change makes me want to cry. I was working at a museum, an exhibit about African and African American history, and I loved my job. But those school groups. Hello, Kaypri. This is Deborah. I just adore your mother. She is such a sweetheart. I tell you, I think they misdiagnosed her. She has such an incredible wit. I mean, she just has me laughing all the time. Oh, and she has been showing me some of her book chapters. What a story. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. We're going to take good care of her. Uh-huh. Okay. Bye-bye. The best part about Deborah, I could text her to find out what kind of mood Mom was in before I called. As the stress of being a long-distance caregiver began to weigh on me, heavier. She laughs. I don't get her jokes. Don't let her know you don't know what she's saying. What's wrong, Mom? Mom? I need you to get the thing out of the place. Okay, where is the place? In there! Okay, what color it is? What color is it? I forgot. Red! The red thing! Okay. The red jacket with the gold buttons. That's what I said! Okay, I'll get it. I'll be right back. Eggshells. She's still with me in the moment, but she's not. Her eyes almost glaze over like she's lost. One time, Deborah and her were in a restaurant, and she suddenly gripped the table's edge. I feel like my feet aren't here! Nouns began to leave her sentences. Thoughts stopped in the middle. A simple activity like making a sandwich takes half an hour. And she knows she's changing. She becomes a bully. Stupid! Why did I? No, you're not, Mommy. Don't say that. Nobody said it. She cries out to me. I feel helpless. Mommy, why don't you... Mommy, it's okay. It's gonna be okay. We'll figure it out. It's gonna be okay. lashes out at all the hurts that never left her. I see her and know I must learn from her mistakes. So I don't become an angry senior citizen like her. I find myself becoming mom to her, a role I was not ready to play, a role I was forced to take. Hello, Kaypri, this is Deborah. I have to tell you something that's on my heart. It may not be my place, but I just don't like the way these happy husbands treat your mom and the residents here. They don't get her. Most of them never left this town, and your mother is too worldly for them. She keeps telling me she's not happy here. Mm-hmm. No, she specifically said, I'm not going to tell Kaypri. I know you're doing the best you can. You are such a good daughter. Mm-hmm. There's something else I have to tell you. See, we were trying to pay the bills earlier, and she couldn't write out the check, and now she got real frustrated. She put a pin down on the floor. And I said, Dorothy, that wasn't necessary, but it's going to be okay. And she just broke down and started crying, just about my heart. Okay. Okay, you take care. Okay. I love you too. That was the last check Mom wrote. From that point on, Deborah told her that she would write out the amount and my mom would sign them. She told her that by doing so, she'd have more time to work on her book. Mom bought her Logic and made very little progress working on her book. While, on the other hand, in the minds of some, the mention of civil rights immediately brings fear. Negroes don't need all that much help if whites can recover from their fears enough to see what our society, past and present, has done to us all. We don't have to take responsibility for what our forefathers did, but that does not mean that we don't take responsibility for what we do. White people are not free as long as they are afraid. I missed her too. But it was just so expensive to fly non-stop. With the layovers, it took almost a day. So it wasn't a real emergency. I mean, I was so grateful that Deborah was my eyes and ears. But I always knew that every time I visited, I'd have to come back sooner than I expected, for one reason or another. Now, although your mother is healthy for the most part, our tests along with Deborah's observations indicate, well, can anything be done to stop it? Well, other than taking the Intercept, which delays the process, and maintaining an active lifestyle, no. You're doing all the right things. I commend you for all you're doing for her. You are such a good daughter. Now, I know that you live in California, is it? Seeing family is extremely important for dementia patients. But she doesn't want to move ever again. Well, can you? I don't want to live here. Well, maybe you should look into residence options in Los Angeles.
she's crossing over to Alzheimer's. Wait, how did this happen? I've always hated that word, Alzheimer's. How are the words all time in that word? I am losing time. I am losing her. I mean, she sounded okay on the phone. It's okay, she mixes people's names up. She mixes people's names up, but she knows what she's talking about. And that's been my go-to explanation for years. What am I supposed to say now? The whole reason she moved to North Carolina was to be closer to Aunt Catherine. Let me tell y'all about Aunt Catherine. Aunt Catherine's my namesake. The left-handed, red-headed, World War II nurse who never was a mom after a war marriage miscarriage. The woman who started painting at 50 years old and made my teddy bear from scratch. The only person in Mom's family who supported me in my artistic endeavors. Is it gonna be on TV? The woman who possessed an uncensored steel tongue that said what it wanted without a filter, without apology. A coward she was not. 13 years older than my mom, she wasn't letting any of her words not come out one right after the other without pause. But unfortunately, she was 2 to 3 hours away and she and my mom never saw each other. So it made sense for Mom to start thinking about moving to Cali. Not much was left in North Kakalaka anymore. Only memories she hardly had anymore. BC, before California. Deborah, what are they talking about? Are you kidding? Well, those bozos, they don't know what they're talking about. Assisted living, she is not ready for that. They're just trying to steal her money since I'm not around. Some village. Do you know who this woman is? Who is this woman? Breaking my heart. Used to be there for me every day. Or not. Do you know who this woman is? Repeat after me. Ida B. Wells.
Ida B. Wells.
Ida was the first person in this country to bring attention to lynching. Do you know what a lynching is? Recently, in Montgomery, Alabama, a lynching memorial was opened up. And a lot of people were up in arms. They said you should keep the past in the past. Where did my mom go? Where are her words? They said, let it be. Get over it. The American way. This is a famous photo of a lynching. People would make postcards of images like these. Most people that were lynched were black men and women, even pregnant women. The woman Deborah describes is not the woman that raised me. People of all races were lynched, even whites. Ida traveled throughout the U.S. and Europe with photos like these to let people know what was happening. Now, if you want to learn more about her, read her biography by Paula Giddens. How's my mom going to finish her book? I don't have the time to do it. Ida traveled overseas with her children. It was very rare for a married woman to travel alone without a man. She was ahead of her time. To my unborn, unadopted, unfostered, TBA children, Grandma was different from other women in her generation. Most women got married and had families right away. They didn't have careers first, especially ones lasting nearly 20 years. Grandma was ahead of her time.
If you look closely over here, there's actually an actual Ku Klux Klan robe. So when you go around to the back, you can actually see dry blood. We'll go one at a time, don't crowd. They didn't put off marriage for nearly 2 decades. Do life-changing work around the country, change the world, and never give themselves credit. Dorothy Hampton Marcus is an unknown civil rights Sheroe. Now, repeat after me. Dorothy Hampton Marcus.
Dorothy Hampton Marcus.
Remember that name. Let's say it again. Ida B. Wells.
Ida B. Wells.
Ida, although there was a price on her head, lived a long life. She and her husband are still known in Chicago today for helping Southern migrants getting homes and jobs. So recently, there was an incident at Starbucks with 2 young black men, and as a result, Starbucks is closing to do racial bias education training. My mother was doing that work over 50 years ago. And ironically enough, the man in charge of these racial bias education is the man behind the lynching memorial. Please note. Dorothy worked in civil rights and race relations full time from 1957 to 1972. She dedicated her life to helping people change their feelings and attitudes about race. Dorothy has to move to Cali with me. I don't want to force her, but I will if I have to. Oh, it's funny. She thinks I'm going through my stuff in Jersey. Not for real reason. She'd have an absolute fit if she knew I was downsizing her life behind her back. And the trash pickup is tomorrow. But the reality is she's not going to know the difference. Her words revisit me. I don't want to be a burden to you. Daylight comes. I continue walking on eggshells. I walk gently so she won't break. So we rest in God and say amen. I find a church nearby. Mom rides me in the rental. And I'm so lifted and fed. And she's so tuned out. From Santa Claus, even if you don't believe in her. Smiley face. I'm finding old cards that she sent me over the years, and I know it won't be this way again. I mean, I know her feelings deep, deep down aren't shifting, just her mind. Her once fiercely independent mind that once made strong decisions. She can't even manage her own pills, even though they're labeled Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't always know who she is. I have to move her, but how? I'm so frustrated, disgusted. I'm trying to figure this out. Balancing 2 lives and 2 coasts is simply too much. Hi, Lila. I came to get the blinds.
Are you Dorothy's daughter? Line's over there in the corner.
I'm sorry to hear about your husband.
Oh, it's okay. He was an old man. Just glad I finally get out of here. You know, it's costing me a bundle.
he didn't ever want to move again. Your mom doesn't want to either. Let me tell you, I'm one of the fools that bought in this place, and I'm sure paying the price. They tell you resale worth. Lies! Did your mom buy in? Good. You need to get her out of here. These people are crooks. Pulling a scam. They making her seem like she's worse than she is. Trust me, young lady. You don't want her to die here. Happy birthday to you. Mom is now 79 years young. She refused to use the word old. She said that word was for other people. But that didn't stop the fact that she was aging and things were changing. Now I had finished downsizing her life behind her back. She was in good spirits, wrapped up in her fluffy hot pink robe. Newspaper on her lap. That would never get read, but she would never admit it. Mom, I need to talk to you. Look, Mom, now I know you said that you were never, ever going to move again. Mom, no, I know. No, they're not Blue Ridge Mountains in Los Angeles, but there's nice weather though. There's me. Mom, I can't keep traveling back and forth like this. Mom, I have to stay in LA for my work. This place is for retirees. Mom, I need you closer. This is too stressful. I can't keep doing this. Mom, it's too expensive. No, I know. Look, Mom, I know you want to see Aunt Catherine, but I need you near me. Mom, no one can bring her to you. You just have to come to LA and I'll work it out, I promise. Mom, I have to fly. I have to fly an hour and a half away because I can't afford to go to the airport that is 10 minutes down the block. Mom, I can't do it. I can't keep going like this. I can't keep flying like this. It's too expensive. It's too stressful. It's too Mom! I need you closer. This is too stressful. You're too far away. Mom, please. For over an hour, I pleaded. Praying somehow she would hear me. Yes, Mom, we will find you a place with mountains in California, I promise. I have been researching places and I'll show them to you. All you have to do is fly out. There is a God. Okay, Mom, I know you didn't like No View Village, but what about Village Manor? Well, it does have racial diversity. Yes, and it's in Hollywood, it's near lots of theaters, and it's much closer to me. It has more activities than Happy Hills Village. But there's no view. No, there's no view of the mountains in the room that's available. We can go up to the rooftop lounge and see the Hollywood Hills. Mom, I don't know. Okay, well, Mom, I spoke to Village Manor and they said they would let you stay for a whole entire weekend on them. And I could pick you up on Monday. What do you think? They'll let me stay well, I guess. Yes! So I dropped her off. I crossed my fingers and I prayed. And just like that, my life totally transformed. It's all in God's hands. Parenting is over for her. It's only just begun for me. But now Mom is 15 minutes away. How do you spell relief? M-O-M-S-H-E-R-E. Mom's here. Relieved, stressed, in transition. Oh God, especially in my house. Her stuff plus my stuff. Must hang these pictures, must get these files, must reclaim my home as a sanctuary once again. How it felt before she arrived. I'm so grateful I can finally focus on my career and not worry about her being so far away. Little did I know, overwhelm, stress, distraction did not leave. They just stowed away in boxes and suitcases delivered to my house. My new routine en route to work. Good morning, Mom. I just want to make sure you got your breakfast on time. I know how much you hate cold food. Okay. Do you need anything? Okay. Yeah, I won't forget. Okay. I'll get on my lunch break. Okay. 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 Change of address. Business, personal. A lot of our friends are starting to die off. I had to activate the POA, power of attorney. Should the individual become incompetent, the agent is elected to take care of matters of health, care, and or monies, financial. Fax and mail, POA, to pension boards. Fax and mail, POA, to insurance companies. Fax and mail, POA, to IRS. Make notes, update IRS every 3 years. Call, income receipt, call, income receipt, call, income receipt. She didn't know I was her POA. I wanted to keep illusion alive. I wanted her to feel independent. I took her checkbooks and she didn't notice. Good. Good? I gave her money for Village Manor outings, as a parent gives money to a child. But every time I returned home, there was the stuff. More boxes of files, more clothes to go through, more kitchen stuff, knickknacks, China closet stuff, no China closet, clothes to go through. My house felt full, almost bursting to the brim. Everywhere I turned, there was so much stuff. I downsized some things. No help from her family. I downsized some people. One who was like family. Truth is, I was running out of family. Thanks, Mom. It all continued. It never seemed to let up. I go to the P.O. box to get mail, mostly hers. Calgon, take me away. So much to take care of. Now that would be the first lyric of the Caregiver blues that a lot of us sing silently. Over the years, I've discovered there are many of us, more than you think, all ages. Raise your hand if you're a caregiver. Keep your hands raised. Raise your hand if you've been a caregiver. Keep your hands raised. Raise your hand if you know you're getting closer to becoming a caregiver. As time goes on, oh, you can't do that. As time goes on, now keep your hands raised. Look around, see. Most of us are going to sing the caregiver blues. Sooner or later. Sooner or later, sooner or later. Hands down. Victory! I found a doctor with low co-pays. And then I discovered that if she had a medical doctor, then I discovered if she had Medicare, there would be no pays. But then if she had straight Medicare, she could see any doctor I wanted her to, as long as they take Medicare. Confused? Exactly my point. Things I'm learning. Dee Dee was still around. She moved to California with her new boyfriend, Al. Mom didn't seem fazed by her. I was watching her closely. But this was a good move. Mom's doing well. With her on prescriptions like Intercept, I feel like getting more of her back. She's drinking more water. She's more comfortable. She's laughing. And her words aren't sounding out as badly. But my own words have trouble making it to the page because I just keep trying to figure out what this new life is.
How is your mother?
My mother? Exhausting. I may be single and childless, but I have a big responsibility called mom. My to-do list never ends. I'm a poor time manager, a failure. Oh no, I'm not like that. In many ways I'm like her, but not that. I'm so stressed out, most people just don't understand. This is my burden. Not as heavy as it could have been.
How's your mother?
Being the good daughter. Hating the term at the same time. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, damn it. This woman made me who I am. This is my duty. See, most people don't understand my mother is my first child. I have to think about her every single day. Will that doctor's appointment be covered? Red tape. I hate red tape. Getting used to red tape. Thinking about how much she's bottled up deep inside. Who knows for how long. I have to make sure I do not become a coward like her.
How's your mother?
Caregiving usually lands on one child, even in big families. I'm all the family she has left. My caregiver blues continue. Draw a circle. Put a line through the circle. Write your name. She couldn't write her own name. I knew then she would never finish her book on her own. It was really up to me. My storytelling would have to wait. Sleepless nights lay ahead as I tried to streamline several versions of the same chapter into one. Memorial Day was crunch time. I had a big deadline to compete. Her birthday, June 7th, was right around the corner. I had to just complete what I could.
Okay. You guys, a whole bunch of yellow. What I didn't know, I didn't know what I didn't know. A Southern white woman's story about race, written by Dorothy Hampton Marcus, edited by Sheroe Marcus.
The look on her face is one I will never forget. We read through the chapter titles together. She couldn't do it alone. This was the best present ever. I ordered 10 copies for my friends, Aunt Catherine and Pamela. But this was better than the 60 reasons I gave her 20 years before. The next month, I flew out to DC to perform Baby Girl. I came back high and excited. I made an appointment with my graphic artist so I can make a professional cover for Mom's book, not that one I threw together for her birthday. So I'm driving to her house.
totaled car. Passenger doors squeezed shut. I'm coughing and aching, barely in one piece. Exploded airbags, bashed in car. Uninsured driver, suspended license, almost a hit and run, but a cop was driving by. Angels. My first thought, thank God my mother's not my passenger. Oh, long recovery, traumatized body, neck stuck, pains up and down my body. Oh, dizzy, helpless, but given time, oh, grateful to get back to working on book at my own pace. As her illness progressed, aphasia? There are hundreds of types of dementia. This one affects speech. Missing nouns, missing verbs. My mom seems to be missing, but she's still here. She still laughs and jokes, still gets frustrated, still fighting for her independence, as I keep reclaiming mine, trying to not get caught up in her madness. See, I've always hated that word, Alzheimer's, and I don't know the difference between that and dementia. I mean, aren't they one and the same? Guess the jury's still out on that. I don't like to think of my mother as dementia because dementia means crazy. And she's not crazy, right? She's holed up in her Village Manor apartment, only going out for meals. She never liked bingo, but now she's not even going out for movie nights, so one activity she always did. And even though I hired an angel to help her prepare for her mornings, I realized I might not be able to put off assisted living costs much longer. And I had Village Manor in my ear, trying to move her there, but I didn't like that other building and its dark, gray vibe. I just prayed for an answer. I attended a caregiver day. Excuse me, did you say you have a residential assisted living? Is that in a house? 6 rooms? Are there any openings? I've been thinking about moving my mom. A last minute cancellation the day before. Angels. Woo. In 2011, she was the only one that could walk unassisted. I got too comfortable, allowed myself to forget that not only are her words betraying her, she is just not the same. And she's aging and she's saging and she's getting closer to another year, and it seemed to all change when she turned 80, and today her words are gone. Every time she still smiles and greets everyone she meets. But every time she gets sick, I guess I try not to think about that faraway look in her eyes, the same one that white-haired woman in the wheelchair had, her mother. She goes into the hospital one day after I fly off to perform Baby Girl in Chicago. It's a half an hour before tech, and I'm 1,500 miles away, and she gets another blood clot in her leg. And once again, I know I have to focus on my career first. Once again, dismissing the off-base rants of Miranda, who I only hear from when she's calling me to scold me for something. But this was my wake-up call, my reminder. Her story won't wait. I return home to see her in a wheelchair. I want my mommy. She's not all the way there. I'm married with a family, and it's still hard. Let it out, let yesterday in the arms of another seemingly motherless child. God is preparing you. You won't be alone. Most of my friends mean well, but only those in this situation truly understand. And I stand in gratitude for another angel, along with my therapist whose own father is going through changes. See, a lot of my friends, they don't understand because they have younger parents and teenage children. We don't understand each other's lives. But there are those who do, and I seek them out. One of them I saw several years ago on a layover. When Mom could still travel, when we got the wheelchair, it was just a convenience. She didn't need a wheelchair. It was just a convenience. And now I still want it to be temporary. And my therapist helps me realize it's okay if it's not. And I lean on my fellow PKs. And we keep each other strong, leaning on my faith. I'm just doing the best I can, even though Dee Dee is not helping things, and I'm not too crazy about Al, who moved in with her, but I just can't focus on them. I just have to focus on my mom and tune them both out. I surrender, I'm ready for my change. We tried physical therapy, but her legs grew too stubborn. I'm learning to relinquish and surrender. Her walking days are over. My theater buddy ain't what she used to be. The musical Fela taught me that. The old her would have loved Fela's political significance. The new her couldn't follow the story. I take her to restaurants. I take her to buffets because restaurant menus are too difficult to comprehend. Live music and civil rights documentaries, they replace the plays. They remind her. I took her to see The Butler and she loved it. And I was going to take her to see Mandela because he was her hero and she never made it to South Africa, period. And until a few years ago, I was going to take her until on Christmas. I bought her an African travel DVD and a CD of African music because it was the best I could do. Today our travel is in a wheelchair lift, going to the doctor. We rarely go anywhere else unless it's a special occasion. See, I got an SUV so I could transport her wheelchair, but now I can't lift her and her car is no longer full of my books. And today I go to water aerobics, and with every kick and splash, I think of her. I splash harder. And when I stretch in yoga, I'm reminded to take care of myself before it's too late. She still looks good for her age. 85 years young, soft rosy cheeks, natural blush on both sides. She never wore lipstick. She never wore makeup except for lipstick. She used to say without lipstick and earrings, she was naked. Now she rarely wears them. You know, she never needed oil of Olay. Still beauty. You know, they say some black don't crack, but from mom's side, some white don't bite. I celebrate her voracious appetite. The woman loves to eat, and she loves to smile, and she loves to be my mom. And I told her story, but I almost forgot my own. And that's why I'm here with all you PKs. Hi, Mommy. 6 years ago, as soon as she saw me. That's my daughter. Today. Hi, Mommy. Did you have a good lunch?
her name, but she can't even say out loud. I had to stop buying her cell phones after she ruined the fourth one because she forgot to keep it away from water. So she can't say my name out loud. Am I motherless yet? The definition is that a mother loves her daughter. I still have one.
How is your mother?
You know what? Let's try something different. Could you guys repeat after me? How are you? All together.
How are you?
Thank you for asking. I often feel lost between the mother I had and the mother I losing myself, fooling myself, thinking I'm breaking the pattern that she taught me, overwhelmed.
How are you?
My tears are often held hostage, yearning to break free. You can't do that. You have to be there for your mom. Your life has to wait. And I can distract myself with Netflix or social media but deep down I know better. I stand firm. I am still learning to release those that don't serve me. I'm still learning to set boundaries. I'm still learning to be a mother to myself. I am still.
How's your mother?
I used to joke and laugh and say it was me and my mom against the world. But now, it's me. The baton has been passed and it's heavy, weighs me down. I'm just a caregiver trying to find my place. But it's easier to ask, how's my mom, huh? My mom comes and goes. She sees me, laughs and points. I'm just trying to love her however she shows up. My mother has officially lost her voice. Maybe she gave it to me so I could share with all of you PKs. You guys do know what a PK is, don't you? Any guesses? Not a preacher's kid. Any other guesses? Parentless kids. Yeah, we're some club, Mom. Told you. You know, we are some club. And I know some of you are just visiting. You have one or both your parents. And for you, I say cherish them now. Get those papers signed. Find out if there's a will. Find out what it says. Even in my mother's declining state, before she was really bad, she actually put a non-family member in charge of all of her stuff. POA and executor of her will, and she didn't understand why I was upset. This is why you have to take care of these things now, before it's too late. I mean, I know it's a pain, and I know it's stressful, but you want to do it before they're gone. Okay, off my soapbox. Am I motherless yet? Okay. My mom, you know, her words may not be perfect, and they probably won't come at all. But her eyes lighting up when she sees me, that's my comfort. I give her kisses, make her laugh, buy her things I think will bring her joy in any way. Because I remember the time came when there was nothing left to buy for Daddy. Because he was that old and he didn't need anything. And sure, who wouldn't want their mother to have the best ever? But I'm just glad to share her words with the world, especially since she no longer has any of her own. She used to sing to me, I love you, a bushel and a peck. A bushel and a peck and a hug around the neck. Last time she was in the hospital before I put her in palliative care, which means that she doesn't go to hospitals anymore. All care comes straight to her. I went to YouTube and I looked up Bushel and Peck. And I was shocked to find out it was a love song, because I just thought it was me and my mom's song. And I was like, it's a love song? Anyway, but you know, I still sing it to her even though she doesn't remember it. But she knows what a kiss is, and she knows that I love her. A bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, and multitudes of hugs around the neck. And you know what? I'm going to continue to love her however she shows up. I'm going to strive on, I'm going to keep on keeping on, because you know what? I'm not a motherless child. I never will be. I will always be my mother's daughter. How she sees me now, how she saw me the very first time. How she saw me in my 20s when I told her I was grown. She gave me my freedom after a very long fight and took some of her own the very first time. And when it became too much for her, I took over, like she once did for me. She was a coward, in some ways. I mean, come on now. Delving into your feelings is very hard work. But her courage to change others' lives was greater. And her strength and commitment to stand up for the oppressed will be her legacy. And I will stay in therapy so I can keep stress and anxiety away, so I can still be in touch with my feelings the way she never was with hers. And I will continue to cherish the lessons that she taught me. It's amazing what you find when you clean up. Different strokes for different folks. Always put yourself in another person's shoes. Over that one, sometimes yes, sometimes no. But these are the lessons that brought me here before you today. They're all a part of the two roles that I play. The good daughter and the separate woman with her own life. I've come to accept the roles I've been called to play. Finding my peace, playing the part. Because no matter what, I will always be her good daughter. And Dee Dee, aka dementia, and Al, aka Alzheimer's, will not have the final say. And they can stay around as long as they want, and I accept they are part of her now. But they will not change the love we have for each other, because no matter what, I will always be her good daughter, and she will always be my mommy. I love her, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, and a hug around the neck, a hug around the neck, and a da-da-da-dee, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, you.
I shared with you at another time that really caused a shift in my consciousness and understanding. And I didn't realize you doing that was kind of connected to your mom's history, and it's fascinating to me how it's handed down, even though I never met your mom, it's still, and she's still an influence, I would imagine. That's something I hope you're proud of. I've also been guilty of saying to you, how's your mom? A few things you bring up in the piece, I totally got to do to you. But it certainly creates more understanding. And I don't think you ever have to worry about losing your memory, because if you can remember all that material, that was amazing.
And same therapy.
And being therapy, of course. But yeah, I didn't even know what PK meant, so I was grateful that you taught us what you meant by PK, because I was sitting there going, I don't know what I'm supposed to know about PK. But good job, thank you. And thank you for your influence in my life.
Thank you, Dorothy.
And Dorothy.
You can bring her home with you.
Now, I thought what you shared earlier in the lobby was really profound. I thought that whole life-changing thing with the...
Dr. Joy Goop, we showed 15 minutes at Race Relay. She has a whole hour and 22-minute video piece on YouTube about post-traumatic slave syndrome. And it explains our history as a country and why basically things that have happened to where we are now have got us where we're at. And for those of us who don't understand why, it's a big pill to swallow, but it's an important one to swallow. So I tell everybody I need to watch this video because I think it's very important.
That's
It's
the way you
important for
continue
me.
my mother's work. By you doing that, you continue my mother's work. There's no YouTube.
Yeah,
She just had to tell people.
She did it by word of mouth, yes.
Yeah.
Ironically. Now.
And now people talk about white privilege, but they weren't when she was saying it's a very different thing to be in a different skin. So it's when you say that, it makes me feel good because it lets me know that my mother's work is continuing.
Yeah, I'm a man in his 50s, and I didn't get it. I thought I was fine, but I didn't get it. Now I know a lot more now than I did, so.
You didn't know what you didn't know.
I
which is
didn't
the title of
know.
her book.
I've said that as well. to
Yeah.
other people.
But she got that title from going to one of these dialogues, and she said it came from what she called old black folk wisdom, because she heard it from an African American person, and she said she heard that, and that insisted on being the title of her book.
I was telling Jennifer, I went to an event and someone expressed just their exasperation. It really hit me, and it stuck to my ribs. And then you said, why don't you go to the race relay in Culver City? And that was a big change for me. So again, thank you all.
And there are a lot of people that haven't had that awakening, and we see it every day in the news.
It's 50 years overdue. I mean, beyond that, but it's just ridiculous that I even find it ridiculous that it took me that long to get to that.
Be gentle with yourself. Yeah. There's a lot of programming in our society.
There really is.
Yeah.
It is changing, finally, a little bit better than it's been in my lifetime, and I'm grateful for that. But it's, like I said, it's overdue, and it's good that it's finally getting changed.
And there's still quite a few people I'd love to see that movie.
We would love to see,
The movie?
oh, the video of Dr. Joy.
Yeah.
I think everybody should see it. I don't know, I mean, obviously over his talk with her and stuff. Just that hour and 22 minutes, it's so powerful. And it's from several years ago. It's not a very
So
recent
she's been
speech.
doing this work a long time.
She's been doing it a long time. She's a social scientist. I recommend that y'all, if you can remember Dr. Joy and PTSD, you'll find the video I'm talking about has a blue background. Sure, she has several videos now, but that particular one where she does a presentation, I actually had to watch it in 3 installments. I couldn't watch the whole hour, 22 minutes, because it's intense.
Intense.
Powerful, intense, and important. I'll show you.
That's okay. Thank you for sharing. It's important.
I just wanted to share that I really appreciated coming today because my mother is in this situation, and you hit just about every little milestone that my family has been in, and I'm glad my son got a chance to see it
Sure.
And I said, well, no, all I want you to do is, if I go that way, I want you to just put me someplace and continue to live your life. And he said, if you do that, I'll do that. If you do that to your mother, I'll do that. And I realized that even though, that she smiles and she laughs sometimes and she says things that make sense, she's not her old self, but I'm still her daughter and she's still my mother. No matter what. No matter what. Thank you. And I attended a 3-day workshop with Dr. Joy.
Really?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
I was so angry. The anger that comes up and you have to temper it down. And yeah, it was really a wonderful experience. Thank you so much for sharing.
It's interesting, when people get married, it's till death do us part, but in this situation, it is in sickness and in health kind of a thing, but it's not marriage to parents.
Well, yeah.
She had me at
We
birth.
wouldn't be there. We wouldn't be here if they hadn't been here,
And yet the parent, oh, I don't want to be a burden. Please put me, I don't want to be in the way of your life, but that's the parent.
Yeah, that's still protection. Yeah.
Because they don't.
Okay, Tonight?
I think for me, because I remember that whole journey, I was definitely one of us. How was your mom? But there were tears welling up because I was there at the company and at the last one. And to see your personal journey, your heart open up, the frustration. Remember you going flying by coastal and seeing that all on the stage. It brought back memories for me. And the same thing, my mother's healthy as an ox, but still, she's in her 70s, and we had to sit down, we had to convince her one time she's got some paperwork in order, but one day her time will come. So I appreciate both of you, Jim, because I've seen the last deception and this deception. And
It's a lot better. And
I would say I see a lot more heart, a lot more of the comfort of the home and just more heart and more of the struggle and challenge that maybe a friend who hasn't been there can see and experience. And yet been there kind of on the outside, that makes sense. So I'm greatly appreciative of that. And seeing her before and seeing progression. Because I know that LA, I really wasn't as familiar with New Jersey. Definitely not. So talk about her.
oh,
But I know when she flew out to LA, I remember meeting her for the first time when she had that connection. And so, yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you both.
And thank you for your help. Absolutely. Yeah.
It was a wonderful project. I know I went through all of this with my mom, and I was long distance, so it'd be traveling back. My sister was taking care of it, but I know all the stages, including finding out things about your mom that you don't know. And so they start phone calls and they start bringing up stuff. I'm like, really? And so just, to see that, it's like, yeah, I know that phase. I tell you in my house, I said, yeah, I know the silent stage. They were just smiling. And they're just happy. And I just equated to knowing that they're in my mother, although she wasn't speaking. And at times, even when she was speaking, and you just get these little golden phrases like, God is in charge. And then we'll go back to this other world. So I always knew, and I hope you know that there's this spirit that's in your mother. She's there. There's a light in there. There's a God in her in there. And that, that person knows you, loves you, and appreciates you. And as long as you continue to, to love her with your hugs and your kisses and thanking her all the time.
Yeah, Capri's very hands-on. The last time I was there with her when she visited her mom, she literally crawled in the bed with her. Her mom's like playing with her hair.
she didn't like my hair in my face. She's very OCD, always has been. So usually, because I'm on stage,
so messy. Like she would just want to be like, just flat. I was just like, that's boring. So now I just put my hair in her face, which is like, it's like a running joke with us.
You know, I read someplace that when people with Alzheimer's like to be touched and to be felt because they don't, when you think about it, I think about the caregivers that always have rubber gloves on. And I never, you know, with my mom, I never, when we were taking care of her at home, I never used gloves. And I made sure, like you, I hugged my mom, I kissed her, I said, I love you, and I said, kiss me. And she still knows how to kiss me. And they like to be touched. They love to be touched. And they love to touch her.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, I was a caregiver for my mother as well until she died, and I would just say it's fine to say how's your mom. You might want to say how are you first, and then say how's your mom. But I mean, I always appreciate it when somebody who's cognizant of, you know, yeah, all of that. But yeah, and as a caregiver, you're always like, she's lying down. I'm doing all this. So it's sort of
I'm
like,
always like, she's fine. I'm the one that I'm worried about.
right.
She's absolutely fine. She has no stress at all. She's just something that smiles every single day. So I'm working on that.
Yeah. And it's
Because
different.
of you, though.
It's different for different people too. Because like my mom didn't have Alzheimer's. She had physical ailments, so she had pain and different things. So she wasn't always all right. You know, it was not a balance, but yeah, it is what it is. And I wouldn't give anything for that journey. Like last night, I meant to call out some people because they were saying, well, fortunately I didn't have to go through that. My parents died quickly. I never had to deal with that, fortunately. And I'm like, okay, well, it's a challenge, yeah, but there's learning in it, there's growth in it, and there's definitely a lot of love there. So, yeah. And I think one of the things Kaypri's always said, one of the reasons she wants to present this to people is like, you know, like I remember I didn't want to do it. I did not. My mom, from when I was his age, she said, when I get old, you're gonna take care of me. And I'm like, right, sure, Mom. You know, of course that's gonna happen. And then the day finally came when I had to like face it, and like, okay, well no, you gotta stop what you're doing. And I was in the middle of making my film. I was like, yeah, stop this now and handle this. And you know, put on big girl panties, and like, there you go, and then it did it. But it's like my relationship with my mom, the things I learned, like you're saying. Well, no, you were saying. I'm sorry. It's just priceless. Priceless. I wouldn't trade anything for that time with her. Now, you know. So she said that she wanted to give strength to people who may become caregivers at one point. Let you know that yeah, it's a challenge, and you can walk through that challenge and you can carry it, and she has a lot of areas of support. So.
No other comments? If you're not going to do a comment here, please do one in there or email the Daughter Show Gmail, like your comments, because I need this story. It's bigger than me. This is a story for all caregivers who I feel are very voiceless in our society, who don't really know what we go through. So I need this story to go to as many places and people as possible. So we're going to put together like we've been filming, and we have the testimonials. Well, anything you can send either to the email or allowing yourself to be recorded helps spread this message. So some of you may be camera shy. If you really just can't do that, then please just send something that we post on the publicity stuff for the future. I thank you all for coming out so much.
Like that.
It was very informative.
Looking at your parents' mortality is very difficult.
Very brave of Kaypri.
Sad and inspirational all at the same time.
Brought tears to me.
It made me understand more about Kaypri.
The message I received is a woman's triumph over her struggle of self, over the struggle of what is appearing of her mother losing herself, and finding the balance between both, and finding it through love and everything, the ups and downs of that.
The message was really that it's important to, how important our mothers are. How important it is, whether it's a mother or a father or a relative you're taking care of, how important they are, but how important we are during that same journey itself.
The overall message that I got is about valuing and appreciating your loved ones right now.